Role modeling behaviour. What is a role model and why do we care? A role model is someone that we look to inspire us to make some change about ourselves, to make ourselves be better, more like how we'd like to be. That might be someone like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Chris Evans, Beyonce, the Obamas. It might be someone from a media that you like, Goku, Naruto. We're looking at these characters and the positive traits they have and things that we wish we could emulate. Now, there's also bad role models, people that we might like and that are entertaining, but they actually carry a lot of the traits that we wouldn't want to have. People like Jacksepticeye and Pewdiepie. These are fun, exciting people that lots of people want to watch and talk to, but they can't control their behavior. They're usually quite ill-tempered, and they're pretty rude. These are not things that we want to emulate in our life. We're looking for positive traits that we can help use to make ourselves more like how we'd like to be. We want to be more honest or more kind, more understanding, more willing to learn from other people. These are the traits that we want to encourage. Now, how do I work out who is a good role model and how do I work out who's not a good role model? Well, look around your community, in your home, in your workplace. Look where you can find a role model. If I'm looking for a role model and I want to look in my community, where do I look? The places that support you. Maybe your school, local youth group, might be your church, might be just the people that you often see. There might be someone there that you really wish that you could emulate and that you want to learn from. What about places like work, where I volunteer? There might be an older worker there or a supervisor, someone who's been there a bit longer than you that knows all the things that you need to know about that workplace that can help teach you. Maybe not just the workplace, maybe it's how they interact with the customers. Maybe it's how they keep calm under a really stressful situation. Asking them and talking to them is great ways to learn these amazing skills that can help you be the better version of yourself. What about at home? Can my dad be a role model? Can my mum be a role model? My brother or my sister? Well, they can definitely be role models. Your dad might be a very kind, understanding man who's smart and capable. And you wish that you were more like him. Well, those are great role models that you can learn from. But sometimes role models have bad traits too. So what do I do if my role model, say my dad, is kind and understanding, but what if sometimes he's ill-tempered? What if sometimes he's not always honest? What if sometimes he's rude? Well, that's okay too. It's important to remember that when we have a role model that we're not looking to emulate everything about them, just the things that we like. Asking them how they're so kind or how they're so understanding, we don't need to know about why they struggle with their anger. It's about working out in the traits that we want. If I found a role model that I like and they've got traits that I think that I could use, how do I learn from them? Well, the first thing is to pick those traits. If you want to be more kind, find someone that's more kind. Then it's important to work out how achievable that goal is. How long is it going to take? Well, I might struggle with that, so it might take some time. It's not going to be a week. It might take a year. It might take 10. It might be an entire lifetime. Role modeling is a long-term thing. It's not something that's quick, and it takes lots of time and a lot of effort to learn all about them. What about what I can't change? Some things about me are just me. Whether it's my personality, might be due to my disability, might just be the way that I am. It's important that we understand that some things about us might be very hard to change or outright impossible. And that's okay. Remember, the goal is about making us the best version of ourselves. And if that can't be changed, that is already there. So if we found our role models, we know where to find them, and we know that we want a role model, how do we use some strategies to make that successful? Well, the first thing we need to do when thinking about role modeling and who we might want to listen to is find out what traits they actually have. Maybe write them down. What traits do you think that are good? What traits maybe they have that aren't so good? Do we want to be more kind? Do we want to be more empathetic? Do we want to be more understanding? It's important that we write them down so we know what we're trying to achieve. What about how long it takes? As we said before, role modeling is a long-term process. You're not going to change in a week. It might be a year, might be 10 years, might be a lifetime. It's all about working towards our goal. So we've got to make sure that what we're doing, we have a reasonable expectation about it. What about the people that we're picking? It's important to think how much access we might have to these people. A teacher, a principal, talking about our parents, those are great role models because you have lots of access to them. You see them every day at home. Brother, sister, might be a bit more strained. You might see them at home, they might be busy, they might live away. What about a support worker? Those are fantastic. They're paid to be there to help you. Great role model, lots of access. But they might not be the kind of role model that you want. What about out in the community? What about your youth group? Your youth worker there. You're only going to get to see him every time you attend. Same with church. You might only be able to get to see your pastor on a Sunday. When we go to our local Dungeons and Dragons group, the DM might be a great role model, but if you only see him then, you're not going to have much access to him. What about reasonable expectations of how much they want to help? You know, we're looking for role models. We've got to remember that it's a two-way relationship. We're looking to emulate someone, but it's not just that they have time. They might be busy. They might have other things that they want to do. They might really want to hang out with us, but they might not want to be giving us mentoring. So we've got to make sure that the people that we're looking for, they want to be our mentor. It's important that we talk to them and ask and tell them that what we're looking to achieve, what we want to do, that we know how long we think it's going to take, and that we ask them if are they happy to show us and help guide us towards being the better person that we want to be. So it's important to remember that role models come in all different types. It might not just be the traits that you like and how you act. The first kind of role model, behavioural, is all about that. It's about the traits we want to emulate and the way that we wish to be out in ourselves. The second type of role model is the work type of role model, the role model that tells you what kind of career that you want to have, people that you inspire to be. Very different type of role models. And then the last one is your presentation, the role models that you want to emulate to see what style you have, what presence you bring. We can have lots of different types of role models from lots of different categories. Sometimes we don't care about one category. Sometimes we really care about all of them. It's all to remember that it's all individual and it's going to be different for each person on what's going to work for them. The strategies that we have in this toolbox is all about making it work for you so that you can build the best role models that you can imagine and make sure that you can end up being the person that you want to be.